Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Balloon Bandit of Amusement with a Twist. Today we're going to make Mr. Potato Head. I made him once before and he came out really nice. We're going to use a pale blue 260. I don't have white 160s and I also don't have black 160s. So, or a few other colors in the 160s. 160s are nicer when doing this design than the 260s, but you know, you make do with what you have. We're going to use mocha brown 260s for his body, and then I have some miscellaneous 160s and 260s we're going to use for the parts. As you can see, we've already blown up some of the 160s. So let me sit him down so I can get started here. The first part you want to do is you want to make his body. And with Mr. Potato Head, his body's really simple. Obviously, is you want to figure out how big you want your Mr. Potato Head. And potatoes come in all different shapes and sizes. I went with 2 open finger bubbles. I put an ear twist at the top. For different reasons as to why I put this here. One is so I can connect onto it. 2, make it simpler to make the design itself. So we'll go back and we'll do a lock twist followed by another ear twist on the other end. And then we'll squeeze that down just enough to pull off another bubble. The bigger or smaller you make him, that's really up to you. You could probably get away with maybe like an open hand-sized bubble, depending on how big your hands are. I'm going to make him a little big. That way I can show you all the different things I do. But again, size of your designs are really all up to you. Now what we're trying to do with the rest of this is we want to make this more rounder and fill in the spaces so that the bubbles are like kind of tight. And that's how you keep all the pieces in him, and then you can take them out as you go if you want to make him interchangeable. Which in the original Mr. Potato Head I did, he was interchangeable. So we're gonna try and stay with that same concept. Is we want to try and make this one interchangeable as well. And we're just going to bring this last one down, put the hair, try and make it as even with the rest of them as possible. Okay. Now you may be wondering why I took that small bubble on this side instead of having it where I had it before. I try and not do my squeeze down bubbles next to my squeeze down bubbles, because what happens is you can tell the difference in a squeeze down bubble versus a regular bubble. So I kind of like put one on one side, one on the other side of my design in order to offset it. Okay, as you can see, we have what looks like a ball. Okay, I'm going to take my ear twist and I'm going to push them inside the design, and this will help hold him up. Okay. As you can see, we have a ball, if that's what you want to make is a ball. But that's not what we're making today. So we're going to squish him back down a little. Okay. Which should work out just fine. Looks pretty good. The holes aren't quite perfect, but nothing is. Okay. The next concept is we need his shoes. So we're going to pull out our light blue. Oh, that one's got a hole in it. Reason I chose light blue is because Mr. Potato Head does have light blue. We want to encompass approximately a little bit past the front of his body. So we're going to do open hand size pedal twist, followed by an open hand size pedal twist. And then I'm going to put an ear twist right here, a nice big one. And you're saying, why a big one? Because this big one's going to help offset the two on the front, so when he's standing up, he'll stand up on his own. We're gonna break this piece off a little long. Reason we're breaking them off a little long is because we want to make it an interchangeable piece. So basically what I did was I tied my knot a little high. And now I'm just going to make a little bubble. And that little bubble is what's going to be used for putting his shoes on and off. So basically what I'm going to do is, now that I got his shoes and I want to attach his shoes, I'm just going to push that little bubble inside the balloon, center his shoes where I want. I'm not actually tying anything onto this balloon. All the pieces are actually physically on their own. I didn't tie it on there. I can actually physically go in and just rip it back out. It is not tied. The little bubble takes just inside the balloon. Put his feet on. Okay? And basically that's the concept of how we're going to put all the other ones on too, is we're going to, excuse me, you're not funny. You're not funny, boo. Stop! We're having too much fun today. Okay, back to what we were saying. You're watching Daddy build eggs. Okay, like I said, we got the feet in place. You're funny. Okay, next we needed a mouth. The mouth can be made in multiple different ways. You can make like red lips, like if you're doing the female Mr. Potato Head or Mrs. Potato Head, or you can do red lips on him with a white overlay. I do not have a red 260. I have pink, and I'm going to use the pink for both his ears and for his lips per se, because like I said, I don't have red. So object is we're going to make 2 ears. I have a mine. Today we're just having a good day. And he thinks it's funny now. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're going to make a pedal twist, followed by an ear twist. We're going to stick that ear twist in the center of our ear so that it looks something like that, okay? But then, since his ears are like rounded on the ends, we want to kind of shape it so that it looks like his ear. If you look at Mr. Potato online or whatever on the image, he actually looks like he has that little piece on the inside of his ear. Okay, so next concept to this is we need to have a little space. So we need to break that off. Come on. And you'll need 2 of these if I can get it off my finger. Okay, I didn't do this one quite the same as the last one, but the bubble is still there, so it's gonna work out just fine. What you can do is you can turn it into like an ear twist or something, or you can intertie like I am. But the object is you want to have just a little bubble with a little expansion, because you got to be able to shove it inside between the balloons itself in order to get it to stay in place. And again, they do come out. And yes, you can put it all the way on the top of his head if you wanted to make Mr. Potato Head look like he got a beat or something going on. But the object is, like I said, you just push the little bubble inside your design. As you can see, I'm not manipulated in any way. It's actually physically staying in place. And all I do is pull it out if I wanted to take it off. Okay, so we're going to create another one just like it. It was about a hand-sized pedal twist is what I did, followed by an ear twist. Followed by 60 ear twists between. Followed by pinch twist on either end in order to get his ear to become more oblong. Followed by break off the bubble. And like I said, originally this is the way I would have done it, was put the little knot a little ways out so that you can put your bubble in here. Take your 160 pump, blow it back up. See if I can get a hold. And again, the bubble doesn't really have to be too small, and it can be as big as you want. If you want, you can connect them both, and just that way, one ear on, it means you have to have the other ear on. I usually do that with the eyes. I don't like to do the eyes separate, because what happens is, sure enough, they don't like to stay in the right places. So usually the eyes have to be together. Okay, so now we have our two ears, so we're going to stick one in this side. And we're going to stick one in this side. Okay, as you can see, our ears are in place. And again, they do come right out. Again, depending on how big you make your Mr. Potato Head, the actual spaces between the balloons are smaller. And you got to remember that the smaller the components, the smaller you need your Mr. Potato Head. Okay, next we're going to do white. I'm just going to make the arm parts, or the hand part, sorry. You can make his full arms with the 260s if you want. I'm just going to make hands. So we're going to go with 3-finger bubble, followed by pedal twist, followed by ear twist. And again, like I said, you could actually physically do it this way, you know, if you wanted. Just figure out how long you want your arm. Twist it there. Give yourself a little extra bubble there. Plus tie it off. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to let it go at the end of the arm. Tie it. That way you made sure you had enough bubble to make another bubble. Okay, now I got this arm tight there. I'm going to make another little knot. As you can see, again, with my design, I'm giving myself a little extra room for the distance between the inside and outside of the balloon. That way people can turn his arm and stuff, and it won't actually affect the design itself. And then you just stick your arms wherever you wanted them to be. And again, it is in there, it moves freely, and you can just pull it out. Okay? So, that's one. Or you can do it with the 160s. I think we're just going to stick with the 260. You know, and like I said, if you're making him a little smaller, the 160s would hold in there better, because the distance between the gaps wouldn't be as big. So 3-finger pedal, or 3-finger bubble, followed by a pedal twist, followed by an ear twist, followed by about a hand-side bubble with a pinch twist for the bend in his arm, followed by the end of the bubble, break off enough so you can come back and add extra. The distance between your gap that you put here for your different bubbles is definitely going to make a difference as to how tight the arm is, if it'll go easily or tightly. So this one's a little smaller because that one is kind of loose. I wanted to kind of pull it snug, but I don't want it to pull enough that it's going to pull the bubble right out of the inside of the balloon. So now this one should work a little better. Okay. So now we stick it inside the balloon. As you can see, I did not do nothing great, grand, or wonderful to it. I just stuck it inside the balloon. Okay. We'll reposition his arms once I get his face in here. And all the pieces, I'm just showing you how all the pieces are made and how they go in there at the moment. And again, Mr. Potato Head stands on his own. He's actually over here on the desk, standing on his own. If I can get him in the picture, so you can see he's standing right here on the desk. So he stands freely. That was one of the other pieces that I needed him to do in the original, was he needed to be able to stand in the middle of a table and come apart if a kid wanted to play with him. That one's a bad balloon. If you get balloons like this, it's really thick at the top and really thin at the bottom, you know it's a bad balloon. So be cautious when using it. I'm gonna actually deflate that one. I don't like balloons like that. I'm gonna try another one. I'm gonna try and make a hat for him. Okay, that's better, but I still don't like that start bubble. I've always had bad luck when getting Onyx black. It never seems to work right from the start. Okay, his hat is just like a little beaner, so we're gonna do like a really small bubble on the top, followed by yeah. We're gonna actually start this a little different. We need to go up, small bubble, followed by ear twist, followed by about half a hand-sized bubble. Wrap it around the ear twist. Then take your ear twist and set it in the middle of the balloon. Okay. Now, this bubble here on the top, the object is we want to take this nozzle and we just want to pull it down in between that balloon so that the ear twist that we just shoved in the center will hold it in place to give it that kind of rounded effect. Okay. Now we're going to give another ear twist here on the back side. And that's going to help hold that bubble in place. As you can see, we kind of got like a rounded effect going on here. I've used this same concept for Donald Duck's hat. But like I said, the object is you just want to be able to pull it in. You don't really want to wrap it around unless you go all the way to the middle of the ear twist. It usually stays in place without having to tie it on, but this one is not wanting to agree. So I split the ear twist on the inside with that knot so it stays in the center of the balloon. Okay, now next thing we want to do is make sure that we position it so that it sticks right. Okay, now I got a little extra. Tie our knot. And like I said, you can tie your knot a little high on your design. And then make your little bubble. And tie it off. Okay, so that way when you stick your hat on your balloon, like I said, all you're doing is putting that little bubble in there, and then you're moving it into place wherever you want your bubble to be. Okay? So it comes right back out. It's not in there permanently. Okay. Next thing we need is eyes and a nose. Mr. Potato Head has so many different colored noses. I'm sitting here looking at it. We have red, we have brown, we have orange, we have pink. So deciding what color nose you want is really up to you. I have white for the eyes. And then you just got to figure out, okay, how big he is, how big you want your eyes to be. So I've deflated my balloon a little bit. And then what I'm doing now is I'm pushing out on the balloon itself because I want to pull up as much of the nozzle as possible on this one because I want the eyes to be tight. So we're tying it low on the nozzle, shoving it in as much as possible. That way we can get the most color out of the balloon because it's a 5-inch round and I'm not making it a 5-inch round. Okay, and we want to make another one the same size. And then, again, squeeze it down into the balloon, and while squeezing it down into the balloon, you just twist it around, and it'll give your eyes more of a rounder shape. If one eye is bigger than the other, you can always try and let out a little, but be careful not to let it all out. Okay. Looks about right. Okay. If you wanted to make his eyes independent of each other, you would just make another little bubble behind his eye. It could be a big bubble, or one about the same size. Basically like that. And basically you would have what looks like a miniature barbell. And it could actually be a barbell set for him or whatever. But then you would just take one of the bubbles and you would just stick it inside, and then his eye stays wherever you want it to be. If you wanted to, you can tie his eyes together just by tying the nozzles together, and then you would insert one eye through one side of the balloon and out the other side, and then you can have it that way. So we're going to make his eyes independent of each other. Okay. Put his eyes in there. Maybe move his arm. Yeah, we're getting closer, boo boo. Okay, next we need lips. Are you having fun? You're going to run off with my balloon already? That ain't even done with it. Like I said, Mr. Potato Head's lips are strange because he's got multiple different types of teeth or lips. He has mustache in one, without mustache in one. And you can make his lips where you can attach the mustache on it in general. So basically, come back here.
Daddy needs that.
Give me just for a second. Well, you can play with all the parts. I just need to measure how big my mouth is going to be. Okay, with Mr. Potato Head, what we want to do is we want to come about across the distance of whatever you think his face is going to be. So I'm going to go that big. This is specifically for my size that I've made. So I got what is about an open hand size bubble. And then I'm going to come down on the end and I'm going to do an ear twist. And then I want to give him kind of like a smile. So I want to bow it up and around. So I'm going to make another ear twist right here. Okay. Now I'm going to take this piece here. And I'm going to wrap the nozzle right back to the beginning. Okay. In order to make this piece interchangeable, it's kind of a little harder because the mouth, you know, you got to figure out how am I going to stick the bubble in there. And you can do it one of two ways. You can leave it long like this, stick it in, wrap it around the inside of the balloon like this, and then you would just have to unattach one corner in order to pull it back out. Or, depending on your design, you would do like a pinch twist. That way it goes in the direction of the balloon. Come on. And then you would make your little bubbles or whatever in order to insert inside. So we're gonna go like that. Okay. Basically, we're gonna make a pair of glasses on the inside of the table. And yes, it is possible to blow up a 160 by mouth. Not recommended by anybody or for anybody to do it that way. The 160s are a lot harder to do up and can definitely cause you some major headaches. Okay, so we're going to about a 3-finger bubble. And then, like I said, we're going to break it a little long. Okay. And then we want to, when attaching this back to the mouth, we want to make sure that we give it a little extra distance because we don't want it right on the mouth. Because, again, this is a interchangeable piece, and we need to be able to pull it out so that it grabs hold of the design. If your design is doing what mine is, you may have to tie it to it. I'm going to have to put a knot on there because it doesn't want to stay in the design. Ah! What are you doing? Not supposed to come undone. Okay, like that. Here, twist. Like that. Mouth, cross, wrap down through. Okay, now that I have my mouth in place, what you can do is if you have like a black 160, you could make a mustache across the top. We're going to use, I don't even know what, this looks like purple. Oh, no, it's blue. Blue? Yep, blue. Blue, 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 blue. Okay, you could do his mustache in multiple different fashions. You could just do it one big old lump chunk and wrap it on the other side like that. I prefer to go like little bubbles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're going to have to get 6 or 7 out of this. 6. We're going to go one more. 7 little bubbles across the front here. Okay. Place. And his mustache is actually a part of his face or his mouth. So it's not independent. You could make it independent, or you could tie it to his nose, whichever way you want to go about it. But I'm going to tie it to his mouth. And again, you would just position your bubbles so that your mustache is facing to the front. Something like so. Okay. If you wanted, you could fill in this gap here. I just blew up a 260 white. I'm going to fill in that little gap. And wrap it right around the ear twist on the outside. And then we're just going to squeeze it down just enough to fill in the inside of the balloon here. Okay. What? Ears? What? Okay, so now we got what looks like some teeth inside our mouth. You could actually physically draw on it if you wanted. You could use a round or something. And again, depending on how big you make it, you may be able to get it to cooperate a little more. I'm going to try and pinch twist it down. Hey, look! Bubble! That wasn't really what I wanted to do, but it was interesting. Okay, so now that I got it to pinch twist down a little bit, it actually sits in there a little better. Take that nozzle. Inside. Okay. Position it. Okay, Les, can I borrow Mr. Potato Head? Because I want to try and put his mouth on here. He's already having fun. As you can see, he's already wrapping the eyes together. And again, they're still just interchangeable. They can come out however you want to do them. Okay, now with his mouth, what you want to do is you want to try and shove one of your bubbles inside one side. And if you bit your face just right, you should be able to. Oops, I didn't quite get it in there. Pull these out. If done right. You're having way too much fun. Can Danny borrow the balloon for a minute? Yeah. Okay, as you can see, I just shoved it on. So now you would just stick his nose here. Like I said, you can make his mustache independent if you really wanted to. Then you would just stick his eyes on here. Like I said, you can either stick them together or separate. Depends on you. Let's do this. Go two together. Hang on, boo. We're showing people how to make a Mr. Potato Head. Stick his eyes in there. And like I said, once you draw on the eyes and you position him, everything starts to go right. You're having way too much fun with this. Yeah, I see. You're having way too much fun. Okay. I'm gonna have to fight with him to have it back here in a few minutes because we gotta make a nose now. His nose is in many different forms, so it's really up to you how you want his nose to be. We're gonna go with a little up. So I want to start with this bubble here. Go down a little ways to here. I'm going to do 2 ear twists on the bottom here. 1, followed by 1. And then I want to bring that bubble down. Hey. What are you doing? I don't know either. That's why I was asking. Okay, as you can see, we have what looks like 2 nostrils on the bottom side of our nose. Basically, the reason I did this was to kind of roll the nose over, and also give me a spot to tie on to my design. So I need to make a little bubble. Well, it doesn't really have to be a little bubble, but a bubble. depending on how your nose is, you may tie it on to this one, or you can tie it to there. And it should pull it into the design nice. Come here, Bo. Don't be breaking it. That's not finished yet. Okay, as you can see, I just shoved it into the design. You can make just a regular standard round nose or a button nose, however you want it to be. That's really up to you. But now we have a nose. Really? Yeah, the ears. Where's the other ear? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. So we've got 2 ears. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm trying to position all the bubbles inside the face part in order to get it to stay in place. So now we have a nose and eyes in here. He's got his hat still on. Then, if you wanted, you could try and put his teeth under there. And again, if we can get it to go in right. The original design was nicer, like I said, it was smaller, so it made it easier for all the pieces to go in place. But again, they are not tied in any way. You can just grab it and snap it right off. Then you would just take his ears. Okay, now he's got his ears. Can I borrow his arm?
Hand.
Yeah, hand. Oh. I'm gonna have to move his arm forward.
That one.
And then we're gonna get it to stay in place. Okay. Now where's his other arm? What did you do with his other arm?
Arm.
Yeah, what did you do with it? Where's the other arm? It doesn't see it. That makes it a fun move. Okay, he kind of beat up my arm, so. And again, the pieces can go in anywhere you want them to go. Yeah, I see. Yeah, let Daddy try and get him in place here, and then you can have him. As you can see, we have a Mr. Potato Head. All the pieces do come off, okay? And you watch me put them in. Can you give me a second? Give me a second and you can have it. As you can see, my son really likes them. All the pieces do come off, okay? You guys have a great one. This has been the Balloon Bandit of Amusement with a Twist. The original Mr. Potato Head looked nicer because I actually had the right colors for all the pieces, and I made him smaller. And like I said, he does stand on his own. He's not supported in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So, you guys have a great one, and we'll talk to you next time. Enjoy. Bye-bye.